What's up, everybody? This is Around the Boards, episode 24, about to start. Don't have much to talk about besides this over an hour long episode that we have with our special guest. Robbie, take it away since you fangirl so hard.
He's a Stanley Cup champion with your 2012 Los Angeles Kings. He also won a cup with Anaheim, but I still like him in spite of that. It's the one, the only, the man, Dustin Penner. Let's go!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Around the board.
What's up, everybody? This is Around the Boards, back at it again, another week gone by. Joined here with my good friend, Rob. Robbie, say hello.
I don't even want to say hello. I just really want to talk to this guy that we got on here. I'm real excited for this.
That's right. And as you guys heard in the intro, it is two-time Stanley Cup champion
Penner.
Let's just get into the interview. What do you say?
I'm ready. I'm so ready for this.
All right, everybody, and now our guest is with us tonight. We have two-time Stanley Cup champion Dustin Penner. Dustin, say hello.
Hi, Rob.
Well, that was Des, but okay then. That works.
Close enough.
I take direction well.
Yeah, we're off to a great start again.
Say hi. I said hi.
That's
one
works.
for one. Nailed it.
Yeah.
We're on a roll. So how was Easter
What else?
Island?
It was great.
What'd you do there?
Probably the first thing that I enjoyed the most was getting in a rental Suzuki. It was very hard to fit in, but I managed to squeeze in there. It was a stick shift, and I drove until I couldn't see any inanimate objects. So it was just, grass and trees and wild dogs, horses, and cows. And then I got out of the vehicle. I just walked until I had no reception. And I just sat down and said, no one can bother me.
Tranquility.
Yeah, it really is. It's to be in the most remote island in the world. It took me 28 hours on my iPhone stopwatch to go door to door.
wow. Jesus.
Yeah, from leaving this house in Newport Beach to get to the hotel room in Rapa Nui at this place called Hangaroa. But it's an island of 6,000 people. I stayed there for 2 weeks, didn't speak the language. I speak two there, French, Polynesian, and Spanish. I just said hola and got by pretty nicely.
So we can totally talk hockey now, or
not.
I mean, we can talk about it if you want. You probably know more than I do.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I'm assuming, obviously, you being a professional athlete, I'm assuming you still follow everything.
As far as I know, the league is still functioning.
The league is still in existence. Have you heard anything about them getting a new expansion team in Seattle?
I did see that somewhere. Did they get it?
Well, not yet. They're having like a ticket drive or something like what Vegas did. Have you seen the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah, I've paid attention to that because I have a lot of friends from the Vegas area, and
I'm one of them.
Surprised by it. Yeah, and they've been asking about them and like, oh, they're supposed to be this good. I'm like, I'm going to start betting. I'm like, well, go ahead. But I don't. They go, why are they winning so much? I said, well, when I first was in the NHL and went down to Vegas one of the first few times, I asked a person who I figured would know the most of the time. I said, do they have a hockey team here? And they said, yeah. I said,
was it the Wranglers?
Yeah, you're right. And then I realized, one of my childhood friends actually played for them. And I went and checked the website, the ECHL, and see what their home record was.
That's pretty good.
I went, oh yeah. And then someone told me, yeah, it's been the best like for the last 10 years. I go, no fucking shit.
The other teams have to come to Vegas and then play hockey.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't care how strict your coach is. You may all be in the hotel that you're in, but everybody knows they're in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's very tough. It's very tough to sleep when you have that in the back of your mind. Well, I'll just go down to the bar, have a drink. Just one.
Shoot some craps. Play some roulette.
Just one. So then you go, well, all my teammates in their suits already walking outside to the bus. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Are you saying that you've had one of those moments?
I have not, but I've had that moment when I wasn't playing for a team. And I used to go to, there was I think Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer.
Yep.
He put on the Bad Boys of Vegas thing. I don't know if being from Vegas, you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just remember when I was playing because they break in, like Cuba Gooding Jr. was playing. There was a bunch of celebrities who wanted to play with NHL players, so they'd take all the people who wanted to come and split them up into teams, and you'd have a couple games a day over the next 4 days while hanging out with everybody in Vegas, going to nightclubs and dinner spots. And I just remember, like, that's when you're like, all right, let's go out, go to this dinner, go to the club. We got a game at 9 tomorrow, so we need a couple hours of sleep. And then, well, we don't need that much sleep. You know what? I'll just start drinking water now. And then we'll get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it just adds on. And then next thing you look up, your game's in an hour. You got to go take a shower and grab your stuff.
Yeah. Or I'll just shower at the rink.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I don't know about that
I
stuff.
imagine from what I've heard, like a lot of teams are doing their rookie parties there.
In Vegas?
Yeah. They block off. They get an extra. They get in a day early so they can have the rookie party. And that's part of it. That's not a large portion of why, but it definitely doesn't hurt that they're in Vegas. And then they have a bunch of, Kenny Reeves-ish in the replacement type players that, you know, were being pushed out of their former teams by younger guys and cheaper younger guys.
Right.
Like the James Neal and Marc-Andre Fleury. You know, all of a sudden you got
chips on their shoulders.
Guys being put in positions where they thought they should be within the team, and now they're flourishing. So when you have a first-year team, you have very little expectations. So now you get rid of that pressure. So it's not at all surprising to me.
Right. So you kind of well, how about on the road? Because they're pretty good on the road too.
Right, but now they're taking that confidence.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right, like there's not a lot of disparity in the league, right? That's always been a key talking point for the NHL when it's talked about other professional sports, right? Like you see New England's going to be there every year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right, basketball, it's not even Golden State, San Antonio.
And LeBron James, wherever he is.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah, that guy, whatever. And,
okay. Remind me to talk about LeBron James later on.
Yeah. And so that's why when they go into another team, they got the confidence of winning. They got a great home record. They don't got as much pressure as other teams. I think obviously they're going to make the playoffs, but that's where I'll be surprised if they win the cup.
Oh, for sure. I'll be surprised because, in my opinion, I've never, believe this or not, I've never played in the NHL like you have, but I believe that the playoffs.
What was your last name? I'm going to look it up.
It was Doherty.
Okay.
You can look me up on the NHL 18 leaderboards. I'll be up there. Pretty high.
Okay.
But I believe that the playoffs, when you start playing a team 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row every other day, it's a little bit different.
Right, and there's not a lot of data for other teams, other coaches to look at when going into Las Vegas, right? Like key tendencies. And in playoffs, you're not going to surprise anybody for one game. You know what I mean? You might surprise them for that one game, but you have to come back and do 3 more times. That's really tough to do.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the Golden Knights all season. And then I don't know if you've talked to any Golden Knights fans, but they all believe that it's hashtag Cup in One is trending on Twitter. So
Cup in One?
Cup in One.
In 1 year? They're going to get a cup in 1 year?
Yep, that's what's trending. How do you feel about that?
I feel that is trending. That's all I feel with that.
Well, I mean, obviously, since you won the cup in Anaheim for the first cup in Anaheim's history, then you won the cup for the first time in LA's history. If the Golden Knights are serious, maybe they should bring you out. Or,
yeah, like just in some role. Like
yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they want, it would help me becoming a more prominent answer to a trivia question than I already am.
You're every answer to every trivia question I ever need. Let's be honest. The only thing, you're my favorite player of all time just because of that goal you scored against Arizona in the Western Conference Finals.
That was a lot of fun. Just because I'm guessing you paid attention to that whole series.
Yes, I paid attention to that whole season.
Right, and then I just remember that game in Phoenix. And
where Dustin Brown hit him.
Yeah. It was a little like,
let me cut you off here for a second. Somebody on Arizona, I remember saying, it was like Shane Doan or somebody. They're like, yeah, they blew his knee out. He's going to be done for the rest of his year. And then you guys beat Arizona, and like 2 weeks later say, oh, he had a bruised thigh. That was the injury. It was a bruised thigh. I was like, come on.
Right. And, I mean, it was innocent enough, but also close enough to the line. But the best thing is that they were so amped up about the no call. The next face-off, we got out there. And Slava jumped up, chipped it. Cards chipped it to me. I tapped it back, behind me, 2 legs or to the side, and the guy tried to hit me. I knew he was going to run me too because we were all fucking fired up.
Yeah.
So I was ready for that, and then it just came gift wrap in the slot, just spinning. I went, oh boy, this is going to sting if I put this where I want to.
And then you did, and that was the happiest day of my life up to that point.
Oh, I know. It was amazing to see. Like, as happy as I was to see everybody coming off the bench just screaming and yelling, I did have to look over and see the dejected faces on the other side of them.
Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Mike Smith was the goalie at the time. He took a big slash at, and also everyone else on the ice was complaining about a hand pass. And I was like, what is going on right now? I was like, Arizona should be used to losing games. Is all I should.
Well, they are now.
now that you killed their hopes and dreams forever. You said that franchise back about 14 years with that goal.
I couldn't be happier to have that attached to my name. I single-handedly sent them into a spiral.
I just can't wipe the smile off my face right now just thinking about it. I was so unbelievably happy when that happened.
I think even like Vermette asked me in the line to shake hands why I put him in the headlock so hard. I just started laughing. I'm like, really? That's what you're gonna ask?
So why do you guys score so many goals against us?
Great series, guys. Great series. I hope you still have hot water.
So is that safe to say that was one of the highlights of your career, or?
Yes, it is. It is safe to say that was one of the highlights of my career.
Well, what do you think is the biggest highlight of your career in your mind? Besides being traded to Washington.
Yeah.
Or is that too soon?
No, there's nothing too soon. That's up there, obviously. I think scoring the game-winning goal in Ottawa with a pass from Solani to give us a chance to win the Stanley Cup the next game back at home. And there was another Kings goal that whole Kings playoff was an amazing run, I think, for almost everybody. I can't see who it wouldn't be, but just everybody was so integral in the team. Like it was offense by committee. There wasn't one line.
Right. That's kind of like what the Golden Knights are doing this year too. Is offense by committee. So.
Right.
Yeah. But there's nothing that compares to the 2012 Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings, if you ask me.
It was. We should have had the record, the NHL record, but we fucking gave 2 games away to New Jersey for some reason.
That's all right. I won't.
We would have 16-2 would have been it, right? We lost 1 to St. Louis and 1 to Van.
Yeah.
Or maybe we lost to Phoenix. Did we lose?
Yeah. I think that was Game 5 that you scored in overtime. I think you're right. I don't know.
Either way, I think I remember going into the New Jersey the final saying if we would just sweep them, we'd beat the Oilers record.
So were you guys talking about that before you actually played New Jersey, or was this after like you won the first couple of games? Or
I don't know if we're talking about it, but I was thinking it just because I was like, well, that would be nice, though.
Yeah, nice little feather in the cap there.
Yeah.
So after winning the cup, obviously you did it with the Ducks and the Kings, like Robbie was saying too. But like, what did you do with your day with the cup?
First time or second time?
I guess if you want to go with the second time, because Robbie is a Kings fan. I mean,
anytime you ask somebody what'd you do with your day of your cup, and they have to specify which day, it's a pretty good sign.
Yeah.
So the first time you get the cup in Anaheim.
I ended up taking it back home to Winkler. I think it was still town at the time. I'm not sure, but when you come from a small. Yeah, when you come before we got Wi-Fi and not dial-up, but one of those things when you come from a small town, if you don't take it back there, you almost cause more problems for yourself than it's worth.
I believe that,
especially for your parents. So you just say, "Well, what do you want me to do?" Yeah, what do you want me to do with it? So I took it to the arena. They gave me a key to the city. I took it to the hospital. Did a signing at the mall. Took it golfing with my dad. And then back up to the big city of Winnipeg to party with my friends later on that night. And before that, we were able to take it out in California to a lot of different places in Newport Beach. So that was a lot of fun as well. And the second time with the Kings, was another experience. I think it's the difference between going to Ace Hardware and Home Depot. Right? The Ducks being Ace Hardware, which is more boutique, and the Kings being like it's. I don't remember partying with David Beckham when I won the cup with the Ducks, but I sure do remember partying with David Beckham when I played with the Kings.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, right. It is what it is. It was just really interesting to be able to do that and see people who quote unquote cared.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say there's a lot of bandwagon fans out in LA?
If that's the way you interpret it, then I can't do anything about that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I don't want to get you in any trouble here with all 16 of our listeners.
You can't. I know how to fucking dance and dodge, duck, and dive.
Yeah, you've been doing this your whole life, or your majority of your adult life, I should say. Yeah. Because I don't really know anything about you when you were 6 years old. Other than the fact that you're probably playing hockey.
What hockey and the media has prepared me for in this life now is dealing with women, right? Because you don't want to say too much, but you don't want to say too little.
Yeah, you don't want to get in any trouble politically or anything like that, or come out and have to apologize next week and make a big statement. And
right, and the beauty of this side of the coin is I don't have to apologize. Yeah,
you just stand by your guns.
Right, exactly. Like people, like threats, like, what are you going to do? Turn my ceiling fan off or not? Get out of my face.
Yeah, you said I said what I said and I meant it. So there.
Yeah. Now what? You're offended? Not then what happens?
Yeah. Well, don't get offended then.
Yep.
Toughen up.
Exactly. Someone didn't spank you enough as a child, or someone spanked me too much. We don't know.
Either way. Doesn't matter. So, Des told me this wasn't a good question to ask, but I thought it was going to be okay. I said, did you have a favorite teammate to play with on your just team or line or be in the locker room?
Matt Green.
Matt Green? Because is he as funny as you are, or are you funnier?
I think he's funnier, but he might say I'm funnier. I just know. I just know that whenever we're around,
good things happen.
We seem to command attention, and people just don't stop laughing. Like when me and Matt Green actually lived together in Edmonton when we played. I got traded from the Ducks deal there before he came to LA. So I actually bought the house right across the street. Yeah, I bought the house right across the street from Matt. And then 6 to 8 months later, he was traded to LA. I was like, well, that fucking blows. So I'm living on the outskirts of Edmonton. And then when he was in LA, him and Stoley vouched for me to get me to come to LA because I guess they wanted a cup too.
Yep. That's right. Mainly they wanted you, and they would take the cup if you came with it. So it worked out for everybody.
Yep.
Wait, I had a question for you. Oh, I was gonna say I actually met Matt Green too one time after they won the cup in 2014 when they brought it here to like one of their celebrations or something that the MGM they had like a big celebration, and actually Matt Green and Trevor Lewis were the only ones that didn't want to sit inside like the VIP like velvet rope area with everybody like the superstar players you would say. So they're just on the outskirts hanging out with everybody. So I would say
that's
pretty humble guys.
That right there tells you the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when Martin Jones was a rookie on that team, and then he wouldn't even say hi to us or take his picture or anything, and now he got traded to the Sharks, and I don't like him anymore. So take that, Martin Jones.
Wow.
You'll never win a cup in San Jose.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
I mean, it's not his fault. His first name's Martin.
Well, maybe he picked it himself. I don't know. He go by Marty.
Yeah, well, there's only one Marty, and that's Alex Martinez.
No, that's true. Jazz Hands. He's got a new nickname ever since the, as aforementioned, 2014, the one that Des likes to talk about all the time. He's a Rangers fan.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember because me and Marty lived together.
Who else did you live with?
Just people that score big goals.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, pretty much. Jared Stoll. Did you live with Jared Stoll too? He beat the Canucks.
Well, me and him were close, or still are, but you know how life is when you don't play hockey and see the same people every day. It's tough. I do a lot of guys you played with. You do a lot of, oh man, we really need to catch up. Yeah, for sure. No, this year for sure we're gonna. It never happens.
And you have that conversation once about every 3 months, and
yeah, I've got to a point now where I send a text out saying, "Hey, this is usually when we talk about hanging out, so I just want to get out of the way early."
Just that yearly checkup, just saying, "Hey, how's it going? Can't wait to text you next year."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a few guys. I lived with Lupul. He scored a few big goals for the Ducks. I don't know if you remember when he had 4 goals against Colorado.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. Do you remember that at all?
I'm not a Ducks fan, so I was probably just angry the whole time and didn't care to watch that.
Yeah. Right.
That was before the Kings were good, and I was just crying every time the playoffs came around. But didn't Lupul just get in trouble like earlier this year or late last year when he was on saying something about the Maple Leafs and like the injuries or that they wouldn't let him play or something like that? Do you know anything about that?
I remember hearing about that. I remember talking to him, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. It seems
it's a business first.
Well, yeah, just like even when I got traded to Washington, like I had taken that hit from Ryan Garbett, and then got traded to Washington shortly after, which I don't know why I got traded, but I got traded nonetheless because they had been asking why I was playing with the Kings 2 years prior to that against Perry and Bob Murray. Hey, why don't you come back? I mean, oh yeah, huh? So
then you do come back as a free agent.
Free agent, take a pay cut, and we're the best team, best power play in the league. And they get traded, which was supposed to be for Ryan Kessler, but the GM Vancouver balked when me and Victor got traded anyway. So I was in Washington, and one day I woke up. It was actually after the day I played the Kings. And the next day I woke up and I didn't have power in my left arm or right leg. I couldn't skate, shoot, pass the way I was used to being able to. And the training staff said, it's just probably a brachial plexus nerve. I was like, okay, I don't know, though. Maybe we should get a look at it. And they said no. And I kept playing, and to a point where now the coaching staff was upset with my play. I'm like, listen, just let me get an MRI, okay? I can't shoot, I can't pass. Like, it's not...
It's not me.
yeah, like I really don't want to blame something else, but just how about we just take a quick picture?
Yeah.
And so they went in, and they let me go in begrudgingly. And the doctor comes out of the back after taking a picture. He goes, "Hi, you got 2 cracked vertebrae in your neck." Oh, no way. Like C5 and C6, 6 to 7 millimeter disc separation. Essentially the same injury Peyton Manning had, except worse. Then I went and saw the same doctor Peyton Manning saw in Marina Del Rey, Bob Watkins. And he said, "Yep, it's broken." I said, "Well, how long is the recovery here?" He goes, "Well, it's 18 months if you get the surgery." Oh, that's it, huh? And he goes, "Or you can just leave it and maybe it'll get better on its own." So I waited a year. It didn't get better. It got worse. I went in and got an MRI or another X-ray, and the doctor Watkins came back and said, "It was when you saw me a year ago, but you should get an MRI." So I went and got an MRI. Long story short, there's a virus in my neck from C2 to C7 that might be MS. So that's where I sit now. So I do understand. I do. Not a lot of people know that, I'm guessing, is why I bring it up.
I didn't know that.
Right.
I thought you were just mad that you had to play in Washington for a year on the East Coast, and you just missed California so much that you just were over it. You said never again.
Ovechkin's a hell of a guy.
Yeah.
He really is. I know most people wouldn't say that, but I remember when I first got there, the first day, it was actually a game day. Obi goes, "Hey, I'll come pick you up, take you to the rink or for the game." I'm like,
"Oh, true
no
captain."
Right? Like no other captain ever did that for me. And then after the game, he's like, "Let's go and have some drinks." I'm like, "Well, fucking A, let's see how big of a liar the media is about Obi."
Yeah, right.
couldn't be a nicer guy.
Well, yeah. The media just doesn't like him because he hasn't won any cups yet. So,
right. Well,
if he won a cup,
right. But if that was the only contingency they needed to not like a guy, there'd be a lot of guys.
Definitely not you, though.
Nope, definitely not me.
Right. So did you like living? Did you live in Washington, or did you just like stay at a hotel or someone's house or something? Or
well, they have these things. These are complexes called turnkey. For like a lot of athletes and businessmen, where you just go. They have it's like
a seasonal
show. Well, like a showroom type place.
Okay.
Right. I just whatever the price was. Yeah, I'll take it. It's got one couch. It's got one TV. It's got a bedroom. Like it's like a hotel essentially, but not a hotel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like people they don't sell or rent these places to people for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
It's same idea as a hotel, but it's for, I'm sure politicians have stayed there. I'm sure
for the independent man.
Yeah, exactly. I had a great time. It was a great steak and cheese place right next door to it.
Steak and cheese. Okay, in Washington. I guess so.
It's close enough to Philly that they would be good by osmosis.
But far enough away to stay away from the fans, right?
Exactly.
Do you have something to say, Des? It looked like you want to say something.
No. I mean,
oh, okay.
No, so I mean, real quick, so they ended up. Was that the final diagnosis on your situation? Was MS?
Well, no, So when I first got the MRI results back and took it to the original doctor, he gave me the 3 or 4 different options that it could be, and he ended it the 4th option, which was, or it could be MS. My ears perked up and went, what was that?
Yeah, excuse me? What? You can't just sneak that past me. What'd you say?
Yeah. There's multiple sclerosis. I go, I thought that's what you meant. He goes, that's just like 1 in a million. And then 3 doctors later, after having a spinal tap and a series of blood tests, I'm at the #1 MS specialist at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in LA. And I go, what was all this 1 in a million talk? To steal a line from Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
Because we went from not having it a really remote chance. All of a sudden, I'm sitting here in front of the number one MS specialist.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way they tell you have MS is by doing tests on you saying, well, you don't have AIDS.
Well, that's good.
You don't have
Good
cancer.
news.
Yeah,
Good
right?
news again.
You know what I mean?
2 for 2.
It's the process of elimination that I got tired being a part of. So I just said, well, it's like any other disease. If you don't get tested, you can't get it.
Right.
Yeah. The less I know that, like, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I don't have, so that's all that matters. Hey, you don't have AIDS.
Yeah.
Good. See you guys later. Man, that's tough. I had no idea about any of that stuff. Were you planning on playing some more, or what? Or are you just?
Well, I mean, had I not broke my neck, yeah.
Right. Yeah. You had no intentions of calling it.
No, I didn't.
There.
No, I didn't get calls from like Peter Chiarelli when he was with Boston after, and when I told him the story I told you guys, and I asked, probably didn't know that. And he goes, no, I had no idea.
Yeah, that was pretty. It's pretty heartbreaking.
Well, that's not the word. You were searching, and he had to set on heartbreaking, but.
Well, I mean, I don't have a very large vocabulary.
Yeah, I'd say it was deflating, or
deflating.
Attitude was melancholy after that.
Yeah, or
but
just not good in general.
Yeah, it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do other than, you know what I mean. I could have went on a world tour saying, no, it's not that I'm a shitty player, and that's why Bob Murray traded me, because that's what he tried to play it off. Like he said, when I got traded, the day of, like minutes before the deadline, the trainer tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, Bob wants to see you. I was like, fuck, what did I do last night?
Checking the Facebook page, checking all that stuff. What I post.
Yeah. And walked in and he said, I've traded you to Washington. My first reaction was to laugh.
Yeah. He said,
so
good one.
I said, why? You guys have been begging me to come back for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He goes, well, nothing you did. We just there's a player we wanted to get, and we need a free salary. So that made logical sense to me, because he traded me and Victor Fash for around $4.5 million of cap space being freed up. And it was Kessler that he wanted.
But didn't end up getting him until following off season or something, right?
Yeah, right. And just before he ended up getting him, the GM during that trade deadline got fired.
So that's never a good sign.
Yeah. So what had happened is, once Bob had pulled the trigger and traded me, the GM of Vancouver said, I have leverage.
Yeah.
Leverage now, I want more. And Bob did the respectable thing and said, no, we agreed to a deal in principle. But he couldn't justify it to the fans, I guess. And so in the season ticket holder, whatever thing they do, where they have the and the fans get asked questions. He said I was a bad guy off the ice, essentially.
Which is probably the furthest thing from the truth. I take
right,
it.
And I still haven't seen him in person yet, but I know that my sister has, because she teaches golf around here. And when they ran into each other at the golf course, my sister introduced herself as my sister, and his face got beat red, and he fucking took off.
Whoa.
That's all I know. That's all I need to know, because one day I am gonna come face to face with him.
Toothless face to face.
Yeah. Well, who's to say he doesn't have dentures?
All right.
Well, yeah, maybe. Do you have fake teeth at all, or do you not wear them?
I got three new ones the other day. I'm still waiting to get the final missing piece.
Are you gonna wear them all the time and show off your pearly whites?
Well, what happens is, over time, like, that tooth has been knocked out several times, that middle one, and you get to a point where the temporary permanent solution is no longer viable, because if you go from post to like veneers to whatever, and then it finally gets to a place where you've got tired of losing the $800 flipper you have to keep buying because you accidentally threw it up into a trash can in the summer. Things like that happen. So you're like, I'm just tired of spending $800 a pop, so I'm just going to leave it out until I'm done playing. And then what you do is you get a surgery where they go in there and just rip everything out of your gums, and then they tie it up like a hefty bag. And then you have to, and that's after they pump in like dead bone, like from a cadaver into that hole, and they just wait for it to solidify. And we're in the process of it solidifying over the next 3 months. It's been 3 months already, and so in 3 months they'll be able to say, okay, we can drill in now, put in a permanent tooth.
There you go.
I'm
I can't
hungry
wait.
now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be back to a full set of teeth, finally.
Yeah.
So
What-
Like
you-
the amount of times as an adult that I bit into something and then went, oh, there goes a tooth. It's right in my apple right now.
My friend actually lost his tooth doing that, and he plays hockey, and he wanted to be like tough and say like he lost it playing hockey, but really just bit into an apple and his tooth came out. So now I'm calling him out on you want me?
Yeah.
It was Greg.
Good.
If you guys know Greg
Greg.
Kerr in Las Vegas.
All right. Make sure to let him know he's a phony.
Yeah, he's also a liar. You know.
Right. So phony.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it right in the head. So how old were you when you got your first adult tooth knocked out? That wasn't by an apple.
17 or 16. It was, I think it was an elbow or stick.
Or both. Combo.
Yeah. I mean,
Elbows.
I've had it knocked out probably half a dozen times. My French Mastiff, who's 200 pounds, jumped up, headbutted me. His fucking skull's got the density of Pluto. Sent it flying.
oh my god.
Is Pluto still
then next
Pluto, or
time-
do they not give it a name
Oh,
anymore
come
because it's
on.
not a planet?
It is or it isn't. It's kind of
Who?
reminiscent of was it Ellen, like where she was in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, like she was gay and then she wasn't gay. I remember Robin Williams doing a joke like that on stand up. I think it was him, but yeah, it's kind of got the same appearance where it wasn't a planet, now it is a planet, who knows, but I don't know a lot of people that have been there, so I can't really take their word for it.
I think the next
do you-
question Rob's going to ask you is if you're a round earther.
Oh no.
I think that's
Flat
where he was
earther?
going with it.
Flat Earther or round Earther? I guess we call it round Earthers now. It's called a globe, whatever.
Right. I honestly, I haven't been to space. I don't know
What?
a lot of people.
You haven't?
I haven't. There's a lot of people that talk like they have, though. I found that very interesting.
Almost everybody
Yeah.
thinks they have been at one point.
Right. And then my issue is, well, why their reasoning in a condescending manner towards me would be something like, well, NASA said.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, but do you guys know how NASA started? You guys heard
here we
of World
go.
War II. You guys heard of World War II, right? Yeah, maybe.
Once or
Okay,
twice.
well, it was a war. It depends how young they are. They might not have heard of it. Well, there was a guy named Werner von Braun, who was the lead Nazi scientist who made the V-2 rocket, who, when the U.S. won the war, they said, we won't kill you, but you got to come to America and start up NASA. And then he brought all his Nazi German scientist buddies and he started NASA. There's
Yeah, that's
Operation Paperclip.
Yeah, that's a big controversy
guys
now.
have
They
it.
say maybe there's still Nazis
Right.
in NASA. All right.
Right,
Yeah, I say that right,
Those
right?
are just facts. Those are just facts. I mean, that's uncontested. Those are declassified
Yeah, those are
documents.
facts. Like that's
Yeah,
how we
those
got
are
that's why I got a man to the moon.
Right. Right. Like let's just call it what it is. Okay.
Spade's a
And-
spade.
Yeah. So now we have to say, well, is the government, like, do they lie to people? Well, they have a tendency to lie,
Uh-oh.
right?
Uh-oh. I don't like where this conversation's heading right now. I think at the end you're going to say that the earth is flat. I think that's a spoiler.
I don't know. I don't know. That's not what I'm saying. I just know enough to know that I don't know.
You know
And I
who
haven't-
not to trust.
Right. I just exactly, like, when I was married, my ex-wife would be like, "Why would I lie? Why would I lie?" Right.
Like, well, why
At the
wouldn't
point
you
where
lie?
Right. That's what I had. That's what I found out after. It's like, oh yeah, when you said I promise I'm telling you the truth, you were actually promising you were lying.
Yeah. Like,
So
why would you
that's
lie?
one thing-
So that way I'm not mad at you for whatever you're lying about. That's why you lie.
Right, exactly. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know many people that have been up there. And,
What about Elon Musk?
What about him? He's
Do you know
the
him?
guy who stole all Tesla's designs.
Yeah, that guy. And he named his car after him too.
Yeah.
And he sent one to space supposedly.
Guy. Yeah, maybe that was his dead body. Who knows?
Ooh. Uh-oh.
I mean, it's interesting to me that he's so concerned with transportation here on Earth, like doing the Hyperloop and stuff like that. You would think he'd be trying to figure out how to get it, even though he is, but the majority of his research seems to be on how to remove
From Mars?
soil from the ground.
Oh.
No, so like he's building stuff underground in LA.
I don't know much about Elon Musk except that I don't trust him.
Well, yeah, that's good enough for people in some cases. I just what my grandpa said to me from a very early age, and he was straight off the boat from Russia, seeking asylum, is he'd always come up to me from as young as I can remember saying, "So, boy, what do you know for sure?"
He said, "My name's
I
Dustin."
would think, and I said, "I don't know." And there's not a lot of things we know for sure.
Right.
And that's where I stand.
It's just what everybody tells you and who to believe and.
Yeah, and to me, why would the government lie is not a good excuse. You got anything else? You know that thing you're holding in your hand right now? What are the chances someone has one of those in space and you just take like one picture and just send
That's
that?
true. Well, nobody
You know
wants
what I
to
mean?
go to space anymore because I don't know. There's no reason for us to go to the moon. That's why we haven't been back there.
Yeah, that's another mind meld if you go dive into that.
Yeah.
And
We'll save that. We'll save that.
Yeah.
We'll say that next
Just
time
go
you're on our
back to
podcast.
Yeah, just go back to the first moon landing and ask yourself why they're intersecting lines of shadows on photography.
Here we go again. I'm a
Right?
big.
Just
I'm scared to ask you about the JFK assassination right now. I don't know.
I just have a friend that's been to the grassy knoll who's proficient in weapons and stood on the spot where that shot was taken from and has told me that it's impossible to make that shot.
But do you trust him?
Yes, that's
Why
why.
would
That's
he
why I
lie to
brought
you?
him up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why would he lie to you?
Right. Why? Right. Like this guy, he's not well known. I just know him to be very good and proficient in weapons. And then another story. I have a friend who works for the group Anonymous. Have you heard of them?
I've heard some stories about them, and I'm scared that they're about to take over this podcast now that you mention it.
No, they don't care.
Okay, all right. As long as you say so. I trust
So
you.
the reason why I'm friends with them is because I got a text from my CPA, which is an assistant, but that does everything within a reservation. She sent me a screenshot of one of my bank accounts and said, "Here you go." I said, "Why'd you send me that?" She goes, "You asked for it." I said, "I sure as fuck did not."
Uh-oh.
She goes, "You emailed it to me." I go,
Uh-oh.
"Check the email." So she checked it, and what they had done is they added an extra N to the email of my name, like whatever it was, Penner or whatever.
Like 3 N's or
And-
just 2 N's in Dustin?
Yeah, like 3 N's or whatever.
Okay.
They added they snuck in a letter where it would pass by the easiest
Yeah.
they thought, which it did, but not all the way. So they were trying to extort millions of dollars. She goes, "So you don't want to send millions of dollars over to Hong Kong for a land deal?" And I said, "Not at the moment."
I was thinking about it, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Not too sure
crossed my
yet.
mind. Why, you buying?
God.
Yeah, I got some swampland for you.
So she went and did, what in her mind was the right thing, which is probably go get like a geek squad,
Yeah.
Best Buy type people. And I called my friend, 14 years from out east, who graduated.
I'll get the real
summa
help.
cum
Don't
laude.
worry.
Yeah, my friend who I'd known for 14 years graduated summa cum laude at MIT, had patents, was actually using his shoulder pads and stuff like that. Like the Patriots were using it. He had a technology that would disperse the energy upon impact on the design of his technology that was patentable that would you would diminish the likelihood of being injured upon being hit because of the way it would disperse the energy. Anyways, I called him up and said, "Hey, you got a guy that can help?" He goes, "I do." So 5 minutes later, I got a phone call from an unknown number, and I picked up and said, "Hello." He goes, "Hi." I go, "What do you want me to do?"
Oh, he said,
Open
what?
up your. And he said, "Open up your laptop." I said, "Okay, it's open. Now what?" And he said, "I'm in."
He said, "That's all I needed. Thanks."
Yeah, right.
That is
So
nuts.
he's been able to secure my network, and I'll get calls from him like I did at Coachella last year saying, "Hey, the number 2 hacker in the world's trying to break in to your network." You know, "Oh, okay, well, stop him if you can." I'm at Coachella right now. Those are the messages I get, right? So anyways, back to the conspiracy thing. We've been friends now for years, and we're talking about Antarctica.
Uh-oh.
And about the things that we think about that. And he has worked for the government, this guy. He has done some things I'll tell you guys in person. So anyways, he goes, "I have a friend that works down in Antarctica for NASA, and he's not the janitor." And I asked him 2 questions one day. First question was, is it true that there is a strictly enforced no-fly zone in Antarctica? He said, yes. And my last and final question was, well, who protects that airspace? And he said, all the world's governments.
Whoa. That is some NWO type
That's
shit
some
right there.
deep level shit.
Right, and
Holy
right, there's nothing else to be said. There's nothing else to be said, but this is what I know to be the truth.
What the fuck did we just stumble into?
Exactly.
You are an interesting guy. Oh my god.
And this has been our segment about
I wouldn't
history and science.
There's no sense in making that up, but it's mind blowing.
It is.
Yes, I 100% agree. And also, the
Right,
Earth is flat apparently, so fuck it.
Well, I never said it was
Well,
flat.
maybe.
I just know that I haven't been high enough, figuratively or literally, to see it.
Man, I thought we were coming down here to talk hockey, but this is something better.
This is better.
This is the next level shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's fascinating, this world.
Yeah.
I've
So anyways,
actually had if you guys want to come, I might commandeer like a private jet and just beeline it for that no-fly zone, just so I can say I knew these fuckers were lying, and then boom.
I'm in. I'm 100% in. I'm picking up in Vegas. I know you'll be here sometime. You only live like a couple 100 miles away. It's fine.
Yeah.
You'll be here eventually, right? EDC's coming to town. You'll probably be here for that, won't you?
I've been asked to go. I've gotten too old now. Where the last time I went was last year, and I flew in day of. Went with my friends in the helicopter to their set for 2 hours, and then flew back. I can't be bumping into people saying sorry for fucking 8 hours.
You don't need to say sorry.
So
It's all right.
I'm Canadian. I have to.
No, you say sorry with 2 O's.
Well, you're right. You're right.
So how did you get started on the DJing thing? How did that all come about? Was that interested you like before or during you were playing hockey? I guess
Well, I grew up musically. I started playing piano at a young age, singing in church. I actually made a choral fest team in junior high where I sang a duet with another girl in a provincial tournament for it was Aladdin's A Whole New World.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. So
you won't sing it for us right now.
What's that?
I said you won't sing it for us right now.
If you can beatbox the beat for it.
Hold on a second.
He's thinking about it. Moving on.
No, I got this.
We'll come back to it later.
Yeah. I sang in choir and I sang in church. I played trombone and I played piano. And then I got into like that DJ type music, like above and beyond stuff in 2000 right around when I got into college. And then after getting divorced, I was allowed to have social media. But as I was married, I wasn't allowed to, apparently. So what I did on social media is I just So I followed comedians, friends, then like sports news, shit like that. So you get updates, and then my favorite artists. And when you have a blue check mark, it excites other people who are quote unquote famous. So a lot of the DJs would follow me back
because you're verified.
NHL hockey player.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Shit, this guy's big news.
So then I would just they'd either hit me up on direct message and vice versa, and I would say, hey, next time you're in town, come by the house. I got a studio. So they do that, and I became friends with a lot of them. And then I would sit there, listening and making music with them. And I had been doing that since my days in Edmonton, because when you live in Edmonton, that far north, on the flat, round globe, you don't have much to do. So it's very cold outside. So I bought a bunch of DJ equipment, and that's when I started by myself. Just I like being able to listen to music loud and music I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't going to let the radio decide for me. So that's where it was around 2008, 9 is when I bought DJ equipment. And then in 2012, 13, back with the Kings and Ducks, is when I became really good friends with a lot of DJs. And then we're making music with them. And they just enough of them looked at me at one point and said, you should DJ.
And you said, okay.
Like, really? Like, all right. And so I started DJing. So then I opened up for my friends on New Year's Day down here, they just had the number 3 album in the world. And when I did that, I was kind of like, well, now what? I don't really need to go any further than that. I know I could, if I'm good enough to open up for guys in that instance, that's all the validation I need.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, I can DJ. But yeah, now I'll do it for fun if I want to.
What about house parties?
Oh yeah, my house is a party.
Can I come?
Yeah, you got to send me a resume though. Like,
okay.
How many beers are you gonna drink? Videos of you acting drunk.
Oh, there's a good video of him acting drunk
when
when he got knocked out, when he got slammed through the table
We
with
can't
his
have
buddy.
we can't have any lightweights here.
Oh,
okay. All right. I'll send you a resume. It's pretty. What kind of beer do you drink? PBR?
I don't. What's that? No, not Natty Light.
Natty Light. I hope you're joking.
I'm kidding. Well, I hope you're joking about PBR.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shit. So, besides DJing,
maybe I should be Skyping right now and see that can of PBR opened up beside you.
I know you should have Skyped with us. It was so much better. You can see my globe in the background where half of it's flat, half of it's round. It's real fucked up. I don't know.
We should make one like that. A half flat, half round one. There's a market that's dying to be fed.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna do that. That's a great idea. But anyways, let's other entertaining stuff, because you had that show on YouTube, right? The Dewey Show.
No, that was I helped produce some of it and give stories but those guys put me on there as a joke.
Oh, like at the end as an end credit, you were just a joke on there?
Yeah, right. Well, they actually contacted me, right, to get ideas, and they would run stuff by me at the start of it and say, like, what do you think? Is that good? No, don't do that. Do something. Like, that was how it is. And I remember TSN or someone else contacted me about that the same way you guys. Like, are you part of that? But no, those guys came up with the idea. I just helped them a little bit in the beginning.
But weren't you on one of the episodes, if I remember correctly? Like, you were a character on there?
They put me in. Yeah. I remember that. Rage or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Rage. Yeah. Oh, those are the best. I'm sad they stopped making those. They only made like 6 of them or something like that, or very little.
Yeah, those are guys that had other jobs too, and I'm sure the demand. Maybe they got better jobs out of it.
Well, you should contact them for me and tell them to make some more, because the last ones they made were about Milan Lucic, and that didn't turn out so well for us here in Kingsland. Unfortunately, I own one of his jerseys too, and I wish it said Penner 25 on the back, but it doesn't. One day,
Yeah.
maybe.
What is it? Are you hinting the way girls do with me?
Yes. Yes. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
You want me to send some pics or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't put your face in it, or maybe do.
Yeah, I don't want to see what comes up. I don't know. You're friends with Anonymous. That's just going to spread worldwide. You know, I'm a famous podcaster now.
It actually won't.
Oh man, don't get my hopes up like that. Come on.
No, it's they are real. That's the
I believe
beauty
it.
of
100%.
right, but it's the beauty of being in a position of prominence, somewhat, whatever quantitative value you want to give that to my path in life. But to be able to find out, like, let's just see. Oh, you do work for them. Wow. Okay, open up my laptop. You're in. Jesus Christ! Don't look at my history.
Oh man, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, now I'm just outside staring at the sunset and looking at the beautiful chemtrails.
Here we go again. Chemtrails. Here we go. Man, I feel like you should have your own podcast or something where it's just like questions.
Oh yeah, I've been working on it. Trust me. I just want people to know that. I just want people to know that they don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's like Joe Rogan. Like he had that show, like Joe Rogan questions everything or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like Dustin Penner questions that. Even more or something. Dustin questions everything. Yeah, everything twice. And he questions the question.
It's just I don't know. Most people don't care.
That's true. Well, most people don't care until it appears on YouTube and you check the comment section. Then everyone starts caring.
Yeah, but those are people that they have nothing else to do.
Yep.
Like, when's the last time you've been on a comment section in a fight on YouTube?
Me personally? Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Never.
Well, who else?
Des. I don't know.
Yeah.
Des
well, right. So two people. I will let both answer. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Like, I haven't. I go on comment sections of girlfriends who have millions of followers on Instagram just to see.
Just to watch?
And just like, oh my God, he actually said that. Right?
So you were like the Michael Jackson in the popcorn gif? You know what I'm talking about? How people post in the comments where they're just watching. You don't even.
I'm just here for the comments.
Just actually eat popcorn and watch and.
Yeah. Like I can't believe some of the men who are my age or older, probably married, some probably have families.
Creepy.
On girls' comment sections, and then some of the girls will be replying saying, "Thanks, babe." Actually, I'm like, I know you two don't know each other.
Oh, that's cringeworthy. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but please tell me your idea on the political landscape right now with Trump and Hillary. Please. I'm dying to know what you think.
Like, that's where the real info comes from.
Yeah. You put a hashtag? Well, that now it's
trending.
There's no more sexual harassment.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, exactly. Like all those people talking about gun control at the Oscars yesterday, surrounded by people with guns.
Yeah.
Man.
Surrounded by people paid thousands of dollars an hour with guns, so they can say, "Hey, we shouldn't have guns." No one has a problem with this. Okay, keep going then.
Oh, man, this is all hockey related, and I love it.
I had to go out and see a doctor the other day just to check to make sure how long I have on this earth.
What do you say?
And my Uber driver, you're live right now. We'll see about tomorrow.
All right. Come back tomorrow. We'll check again.
Yeah. Keep checking in with me, though. Make sure to charge your third-party insurance company.
Yeah.
But anyways, the driver of my Uber was this 85-year-old woman named Sandy, completely lucid. Probably was quite the looker,
back 6 years ago.
Yeah. I don't want to,
Well, she sounds hot to me.
I was on thin ice. I was on thin ice there, but right. And so it was early in the morning. I didn't talk much on the way up there, but she said she'd wait for me to take me back. I'm like, okay, cool. So on the way back, she asked if I was an athlete, those questions came out, like in answers, and then she said, "What's the oldest football quarterback that you remember?" And I go, "Who's the guy that fucking kissed or wanted to kiss the reporter? Joe Namath?"
Oh, yeah, Broadway Joe.
Yeah.
Yep,
I go, him. She goes, "Well, I was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader when Don Meredith was quarterback for the Cowboys." And
That means nothing to me. I don't know who that is.
Well, it was during Joe Namath days. So she was, the famous Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. She was there in the beginning as a cheerleader.
Okay.
So that's during 1950 and 60, somewhere in there.
Sure.
So we had a great conversation the rest of the way, right? Because I could tell her stories. But that's the stuff that, and then I just asked her, like, right, because she's obviously seen a lot of this world. I go, "So do you have a gun?" She goes, "Yep." I said, "Has it hurt anyone yet?" She goes, "No, it hasn't." It's fascinating.
Yeah. Wow. Imagine how that works out.
What I mean? Like,
yeah.
But that's the world we live in, right? Where you see these people who are just sitting there watching, eating popcorn.
Yep. I believe it.
Like she should have a podcast. Maybe I'll have her come on your show.
Sandy?
Sandy, yeah.
Yeah. Send me her info. I'll keep in touch.
85-year-old Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Have you ever been a cheerleader that old? I haven't.
I think. I'm a waiter. I have a customer at work who used to be a burlesque dancer. I don't know if she's 85, but she used to be a showgirl here in Vegas. She's been probably 70s. So
just imagine your grandmother dancing for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
I will not imagine that.
That's all
Let
I
me
can
stop
think
you
about.
there.
All right.
So,
is this what you wanted? Are you happy now?
I'm very happy. I don't know if Des is happy.
I'm enjoying every minute of this. Every minute.
So, anyways, let's get some hot takes about the NHL nowadays. Who's winning the cup this year?
Ooh.
I honestly don't know.
Just say LA.
Oh my God.
LA.
Thank you.
Well, we know New York. We know New York isn't.
Which one? Both of them, or all three of them? If you count Buffalo.
Well, the one that Des.
Oh, Rangers.
I would like the Rangers. Yeah, we know they're not winning it.
No. I don't know. I just hope to God they tank and embrace the tank right now because we get a better draft pick.
Well,
and it's time to rebuild.
I think they embraced it by selling off the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they won 3 games.
Yeah, they're 3-0 since the Rick Nash and Ryan McDonough trade. I don't know.
So
you do keep up with the NHL if you know that they're still on the farm. You try to lie to us.
Yeah. Well, I went and saw the trade deadline day. I went and looked at that.
Our episode?
Because no, not your episode.
Oh,
sorry, guys.
You watched our episode of the trade deadline day? Come on.
I did watch your episode. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah.
Our ugly mugs are on there.
It's always interesting to me to see these guys getting traded.
Yeah.
Because you've been there twice. Or you only got traded twice, right? From Edmonton to
well, no, I got traded 3 times, I believe. I got from. No, but you're right. You're right. Damn it. Edmonton to LA and then Anaheim to Washington. I didn't get traded from LA. I signed.
Yeah, I know.
Ducks.
And I still like you for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah. I don't know. I'm blessed to have you as a friend, though. I know that.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just happy you just called me a friend. I don't know what to say about that.
Just so you know, Rob's fangirling. Robbie is fangirling so hard right now on Skype.
Great.
I've been talking about this day for the last 6 months of my life, ever since I first reached out to you on Instagram, and you said maybe or something. I said yes.
Well, it must have been a weak moment.
Yes, I know. I caught you right at the right time, right between PBRs and Natty Lights. I said, there you go, caught him.
Well, I hope you get 74 followers out of this.
Oh, at least you got some Twitter followers, right? We're trying to steal all your Twitter.
Yeah.
You're certified.
Yeah, I'm certified. I'm certifiable.
That is great news for us, man. Is there any other hockey questions you want to get out of the way, Des, before we let let him go on and finish his day?
I have a pretty funny question because obviously fans don't get to hear the shit that happens on the ice too much. Besides some mic'd up videos and everything like that you see on TV of like Drew Doughty telling
chirps.
someone you
chirps.
suck at hockey. Have you ever seen that? It's just fucking hilarious. Anyways, and I'm sure you've heard it all, but yeah. So what's some of feel free to open it up and curse all you want, but feel free to know what's some of the worst things people have said to you, chirping wise. I'm just curious. Some of the worst shit that's ever been said to you. Yeah.
Or players or anything.
Yeah. Right. Or a player on the ice calling you something or, telling you whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to remember because usually it's never any good.
Constructive.
But I remember. Well, no, but I'm saying it's just oh yeah, you're a fucking loser. Good one. That's
Like, damn, got me right in the feels.
Yeah, some don't even warrant a response. But I remember one guy who was actually playing for the Coyotes at the time tried giving me shit about my ex-wife.
Oh.
Right. In front of while I was sitting on the bench in front of my teammates, and it was a whistle stoppage, and he tried calling me out, embarrassed me about my wife being such and such or whatever, right?
Oh.
And I just looked, talking to me? Your wife worked at a strip club. You guys have been married and divorced 6 times in the last decade. You're talking to me about my marriage?
Oh my God.
That's conversation ended there quickly. You know, example one, the rest fall in line. No one else wants to chirp after that. What did you know about me then? Exactly. Keep your mouth shut.
Man.
So
if you're gonna come sit down at the dinner table, make sure you don't just bring a fork.
Yep, come prepared.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
awesome.
if you had a chirp at Des right now, give me some chirps to say to him on the ice.
Des?
Yeah. Well, first I don't know if I've seen him. He's fat and
What
ugly.
you guys say?
There's a start.
Does he have a big nose?
Kind of.
No, I don't.
He's Polish.
If we were lying, well, then he does. If we were lined up at a face-off circle, right, and I was taking the draw, and he was the winger on another team, I would back out of the face-off saying, "Whoa, tell Des to get his nose out of the circle before he got the puck."
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What would the linesman say in that situation?
They laugh.
They just laugh. They just go with it.
They laugh and try not to. You know what I mean?
Try not to
too hard,
call
but
attention to it.
Your goal is to say something funny enough that no one can get mad at, even though they want to.
Yeah.
He does have a big nose.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I just remember one of the first times playing in the NHL. My center was Zenon Konopka, and he was lined up. He was lined up across from Steve Yzerman, and Yzerman wasn't setting his stick down and was cheating. And Konopka just said, "Hey, you can't let fucking Yzerman cheat like that." And the lineman just looked at him and said, "You're out."
That's fucking Steve Yzerman.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
Right, exactly. But
That's like the Conor
really
McGregor thing at a press conference. He turns around, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah. But it was perfect because he wasn't in the circle. But that is Steve Yzerman. You're out.
That's awesome.
So then did you take a face off?
Yeah, I just let him win it.
He used to take it.
It plays better in the story if he wins it now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'd have been better if you said, "Well, get his fucking nose out of here" or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
But those are the kind of chirps you get to hear. Otherwise, it's a bunch of essential farm boys trying to say stuff that now can't be viewed as homophobic or whatever it is. Like you can't. It's just fucking assholes. Pretty much is what you're left with.
Right.
Yeah. Now you might be mischaracterizing assholes.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to come back next week and make an apology publicly if this gets any retribution for assholes.
That's why I came on. That's why I came on today, because I hadn't made an apology in a while. And
Okay.
I need to.
I need to
Let it
publicly
out.
apologize
Let it
to
out.
somebody about something.
Yeah.
What else
I
you
think
got
there's
for
another
Anything
hockey
else?
question I had.
You got
There
anything
might have been
else for
another
another
hockey
one?
question I had, but I don't know. Let me see. Let me go over my notes. Let me see.
Robbie's got his notes
Oh,
over there.
is there who's one player in the league that you wish you could have been a teammate of that you never were?
Who's one player in League One?
That you never got a chance to be a teammate of that you wish you could have been?
Mario
Just
Lemieux.
Lemieux? Any reason, or just because it's Lemieux, and that's all the reason you need?
Thank you for answering for me.
You're welcome. And I don't know. I
think that's
I
it.
could sit here and talk to you for hours, but I know you probably got other
Yeah.
stuff you want to do. So
I got 6 more podcasts lined up.
yeah, I believe it. You're a pretty popular
No.
guy.
I do have to go. I'm not. I do have to go though. But when we have more to talk about, let's talk then.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Save my number in your phone with a heart next
It's
to it.
right now. Right now I got no caller ID.
Ah, damn it.
But yeah, you're saved, Robbie.
All right, thank you very much. I'm gonna save you my phone too. I promise not to send you too many texts or dick pics.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll do that
Alright,
just
see
for
you
you.
guys. I appreciate it. See you guys.
All right. See you, Dustin. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on, man. All right, and that was our interview with Dustin Penner, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Rob, are you alive over there, Rob? Did you faint after that interview?
That was the greatest moment of my life, captured on audio, and I'm so happy I got to experience that.
Again, a huge thanks to Dustin for taking the time out of his day to come on here and talk everything about life with us. And I feel like I learned a lot, honestly, too.
I feel like we're best friends with him now. Like, I feel like me and him are going to hang out sometime. I can just feel it.
Dustin, you can come on whenever you want now, buddy, okay? We are...
You could be... Fuck Dunk. Let's bring Dustin Penner on and be the third member of Around the Boards.
Who's Dunk?
Exactly. Fuck him.
We haven't mentioned him at all in this podcast. Anyways, guys, that was... that's probably our longest episode ever.
Worth it.
Totally worth it. Again, thank you, Dustin, for coming on.
We'll bring somebody else on, talk about some more current NHL stuff for you guys. We just had to get Dustin Penner on while we had the chance. And if you don't like it, I don't care, because that was the best moment of my life, like I said.
Yes,
so
that was awesome.
All right. Back to normal next week.
Yes, I'll see you next week.
See you next Tuesday.
Take care, guys.
Hey, ATB fans, score yourself a free Around the Boards podcast sticker in 4 easy steps. 1, subscribe to our podcast. 2, write a 5-star review. 3, screenshot that review. And 4, post the picture to our Facebook page or tweet it to us on Twitter @_ATB podcast. Again, that's @_ATB podcast. We'll see you next week, hockey fans.